So the setup we're going to be doing is going to be a really cool bioactive, not so much of a bioactive with bugs, but bioactive with fish. So the fish can eat his fecal matter, and he can have somewhat of a mangrove setup inside his enclosure. All right, that's starting to look really cool. Maybe arrange it a little bit differently. This will all be water. We want to make sure some of the wood is going kind of into the water so the snake can get in and out easily. So these are actually eyelash vipers, and they come in many different colors because they're what's called polymorphic. So every time they give birth, it's many different colorations of the babies, even though they're from the same parents that might have one coloration or two. Oh, what's going on, beautiful people? I was just giving a tour to one of the fans of the show. Get out of here, kid. I'll take a photo with you later. Anyways, today we're going to be getting into some... Excuse me. I will put your Instagram at the end of the video. Anyways, what's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to my wildlife. I'm here at the snake house at the Everglades Outpost, and we are going to be setting up a new snake enclosure for a new snake that was actually given to the outpost. This snake is what's called a mangrove snake, and they're from Southeast Asia. Beautiful snake species. This one's only about 2 to 3 years old right now, and it was actually a surrender. So somebody who did not have a venomous reptile permit here in South Florida had to surrender this animal to the Everglades Outpost because they could no longer own it. Now, this is a rear-fanged venomous snake. By rear-fanged, I mean it does have a primitive set of rear fangs in the back of the mouth that are very, very difficult to deliver venom. So when they chew on a prey item, they actually have to sit there for a while and really chew into it to deliver the venom. Their venom glands are very primitive ducts. They're kind of like weird grooves that actually have to sit there and have the muscles chew and push and contort on the glands to eventually ooze out those primitive channels for the venom. So basically, they have to sit there and chew for such a long time. Most of the time, if you get bit by one of these snakes, you don't want to sit there and let it chew on you so you don't really experience the full-on venom. But if they do have a couple seconds to chew on you, they can deliver enough to make you nauseous, throw up, and swell up like Popeye. So it's not really that fun of a snake to get bit by. If you guys are big fans of the show, you know I've seen these guys in Southeast Asia. I caught like a 6-foot one that was actually somewhat of a morph, and it had a crazy pinstripe pattern. Now, these guys live out in the mangroves, in the trees above freshwater creeks and swamps, and they love to eat small birds, frogs, and fish. So the setup we're going to be doing is going to be a really cool bioactive, not so much of a bioactive with bugs, but bioactive with fish. So the fish can eat his fecal matter, and he can have somewhat of a mangrove setup inside his enclosure. And as you can see, he has a little bit of nose rub on his snout. After a couple of meals and shedding the skin, that should hopefully go away. So hopefully we can get this guy back in tip-top shape, and he's going to have an awesome mangrove setup here at the Everglades Outpost where you can see this beautiful, iconic, venomous reptile. Oh, you okay? He's good. He's real good. We're going to put him in the box and start building his enclosure. We're going to put him right there. And you! Yes, I know, it's at Mr. Duckles 24. I will put it at the end. Please, sir, please. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Add us on Instagram. Bye. All right, beautiful people. First things first, Steven needs to move. I know, Steven. I know. You can't. You're too big. You're in the way. You gotta go. I'm sorry. No, you can be in the next tutorial. No, not a makeup tutorial. We don't do that. You can do that on your own channel. All right, so this right here is the biggest exoterra they make. What's really important about that is that the bottom layer, it's so deep, which is just for soil and layers. So when you're doing bioactives, you can do your rocks, you can do your grate, you can do your charcoal, your soils, whatnot. You can do all the different levels for your bioactive. But we are going to use this for water, H2O. We're going to put a bunch of water down here, and we're going to set it up with a nice filter. As you can see right here, we've got my favorite aquascape filters, or alkaline filters. What do you call these things? Aqueon filters. I should get sponsored by this company. Hit me up, Aqueon. Is that how you say it? Aqueon. Aqueon. I could be your spokesman. Think about it. Aqueon! My favorite filtration. Aqueon is currently not a sponsor. Do we have other filter? I should have bought 2. If I was sponsored, this wouldn't be an issue. Aqueon! Alright, so let's see what else we got. What's really cool is we got spiderwood. What's really good about spiderwood is it looks crazy like the mangrove swamps. So I can actually take a couple of these chunks of spiderwood I can take the flat backs and I can actually put sealing foam onto the back of the terrarium and keep it in place. If you guys have seen our bioactive setups in the past, that's how we keep them secure. We're going to show you exactly how to do it. Let me take some more of this out. Some really good pieces of wood. This is really good because I want to have enough wood for this animal to perch, bask itself, get out of the water, because this whole entire bottom is going to be aquatic. So as long as he has enough places to perch and he can sleep during the day, it's enough. And also, when they sleep during the day, because they are nocturnal creatures, they sleep in the mangroves and they stay coiled up in the trees, and then at night they wake up and start crawling around. So, which is actually something we need to film soon. We need to do a night episode checking out all the snakes and the bioactives and see what they do at night. That's going to be a cool episode. But anyways, we got plenty of spider wood. Big shout out to Beverly's Pet Center. They're always hooking it up. Very important. We have a 40-gallon tank heater right here. Very important to keep the water at least lukewarm or around 75, 76 degrees. So right here we have our waterfall pond sealant. It's basically an expanding foam that I use to secure all the wood to the back. And as you can see, there's already a background here, but obviously it's not in my liking. So what we do in Russia is we take the background out. And as simple as that, it's gone. Now we gotta collect all the dust molecules and throw them in the trash, because we are not trash ourselves. We love our environment. So we get all the foam and throw it in the dome. All right, now we just gotta secure the doors and make sure we don't break them, because we've done that in the past. I will release you from your prison. Yes. And yes. And yes. This will be the best mangrove setup in all the land. All right, my good people, we're gonna get to working now. All you gotta do is move out all the stuff from the mat, because the mat is gonna protect the back of my terrarium from these rocks. All right, time to get working. This knife is coming out of the sheath and into my buns. Let's put this away. All right, guys, now I've got to get this cage off of the rock and set it down gently right here so we don't break this glass tank. We're gonna put it on this carpet. And now I can epoxy, or I can insulate foam the background with these pieces of wood and secure them, and then we can let them dry. All right, so we've got our spider wood, and we want to figure out what orientation we're going to put them in the tank. And obviously, like I said, I want to be very particular so this snake has many options of where it can bask. All right, that's starting to look really cool. Maybe arrange it a little bit differently. This will all be water. We want to make sure some of the wood is going kind of into the water so the snake can get in and out easily. They're great climbers. Like I said, they're mainly arboreal snakes. So let's see. I'm going to get this arranged just how I want it, and then we're going to start sealing it up with all the foam. All right, my gorgeous people, it's time to get irresponsible with knives and seal this foam up. So what we're going to do, I'm actually going to take off the screen top as well, because I realized the way I ended up placing this wood, it's very close to the screen, so if the foam comes out, I don't want the screen top getting all messed up with the foam. All right, guys. So I've got the foam, and what I want to do is just apply it to the background and start sealing all this up. It's not working. Oh, there it goes. So you can see it's gray, and then it's going to harden and turn black, and eventually it will be completely solid and hold this all in place. All right, guys, this is going to take a while. Foam montage. While the foam is sealing, we must go to pet supermarkets for mollies. The fish, of course. More mollies.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's fine. That works. I think that's plenty.
Cool.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
No problem.
You having a good day?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I always appreciate your help.
No
Have a good
problem.
one.
You too.
Stay safe. Be brave and stay gangster. So the foam is expanded as much as it could possibly expand. So now that it's completely done, we can start carving it up and getting rid of the excess foam, because we don't want too much of this stuff. And then whatever's left over is going to get coated with silicone, and then we're going to put the eco earth to give it some texture and make it look like it's actually a part of the mangroves. So let me just look at this. I like to wait at least like a good 2 to 3 hours, just because you get these random threads that bust out of the foam when it's just about done and you think it's about done. You get a thread shoots out, and then that one has to harden. So you got to make sure it's all hardened, all completely done, so you don't end up covering it with eco earth and then later on you get a thread busting through the eco earth, destroying it. Right up here, I want to make it a little bit flatter so it's easier for this snake to actually get through. And also you got to make it easier for that top to go on as well, because don't forget I have a screen top that's going to be going here, so if the foam's pushing, it's not going to be easy to close. Alright guys, we are going to start putting the silicone onto the molding around our wood right here. Before I do that, in the past I've done it barehanded, and then I have gunk all over my hands for like a week. So I rather not look like I've been digging through my own feces when I walk around for the next couple days. So I'm going to put on these protective gloves. What we want to do is get our caulking gun. We want to put our little stencil out, our little stick out. We're going to poke the silicone. Oh, before I get started, I use all-purpose silicone right here. That's waterproof. Real good stuff. So you guys get a good shot of that. So if you'd like to do it yourself, you can. And then you poke it real good. Now it's opened up. And I can stick this thing in there and start caulking it. Now remember, the silicone has so much gas coming off it, so many fumes coming off it. Do not hang over and start inhaling all the gases. You'll get nauseous and sick. Be very careful. And make sure you're in an open area and you're outside. That's why we're doing it out here. So I'm going to take some silicone. Basically what I'll do is I'll start putting it on different parts of the foam. Little dots here and there. I'll start spreading it out. And then once I put it everywhere, I'll take out that eco earth and start spreading it all over so we can give texture to the foam and make it look natural instead of looking so artificial. Alright, cool. So now we got a good little layer on. I'm going to start spraying this apart. Let me make sure my bag's open before I get started so I don't have to get the silicone on everything. So I've got my eco earth in there, nice and broken off. That'll add as the texture. And now all I got to do is start molding the silicone, moving it around, covering every little bit of this foam. So when I dump that eco earth, it collects all over where it's nice and sticky. Very nice. And like I said, lots of fumes are coming off this. Don't hover over. Don't do this indoors. Make sure you're outside and you're with adults. If you're ever setting up one of these bioactive setups or these foam background setups, always be careful with what you're using so you don't end up getting sick. So what I want to do now is get a nice big handful of my eco earth and start packing it in on to every little spot that's got that silicone, creating a nice layer of substrate and giving it the natural look we want. Because obviously the whole point of bioactive setups and these really badass Exoterra setups is simply to make it look natural and make it look like you're looking into the world of these animals out in their natural environment, versus having something so simple that you can't deny it's artificial. This looks beautiful, and it's gonna have a lot of life coming through it, because not just we'll have the snake, but there's gonna be fish, there's gonna be little shrimps in there. It's gonna be like a bioactive setup but aquatic. It's gonna be really cool. Perfecto. This will be the new enclosure for the mangrove snake, a very spicy specimen, a species. Hey! A species we love all so much. Hey Martha, how you doing?
You're sweaty?
Can you? Yeah, I'm sweaty. That's what happens when people work their asses off. Hey, let's play a game.
What?
Human feces or mud?
Mud, hopefully.
A mix of both. Hey! Shut up! All right, guys. It's been drying for quite a bit, so now what I want to do is actually take this and get all the excess eco earth off. If you come around, you can actually see anything that's not completely attached is throwing off right now. So I can go in between. I can clear everything, and I can also see what areas are bald spots right now. Like, so far I only see one area that needs another touch-up, and now we're good. So let me just take out all this excess eco earth, and I'm going to cover up this little bald spot right here. And this enclosure is ready to go. I'll dust it out, make sure it's nice and clean on the glass. Then we're going to turn it back upside down, put it inside the room, fill it up with water, and start setting up the aquatic part of this terrarium. So let's get into it. We've got a majority of that extra eco earth out of the way. Now all I got to do is put this inside, prop it up on the table, start cleaning it up on the glass, and we can start turning this into a live setup. Ariel, you want to give me a hand? This is a little bit, absolutely, a little bit much for me to take on. Ready? Yeah. Up, 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 up. Ariel's the artist of this beautiful work. We appreciate him. Perfecto, perfecto. Right up on there. Oh, this is gonna be so cool when it's done. Perfect. Sweet. Very good. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course, man.
All right, so we've got our lighting right here. I got my brush, so I'm taking off all the excess eco-earth that's sitting on top of the stuff that's already secured with the silicone. And just making sure we don't have a bunch of excess dirt, so once we get the water flowing, it's not going to be filled with eco-earth, clogging up the filter. We don't want that. So just going to make sure everything's nice and taken care of. Just using a paintbrush to get all the little nook and crannies. And then we're going to start styling it up and cleaning up a bit, taking off all the silicone that's on the glass, getting this little, there we go. Getting a little razor like this and just scraping off all the excess silicone we don't want. And we're going to clean up this glass and then move on to the fun stuff. All cleaned up, we're good to go. Now we're going to put our sand so we have some substrate for the bottom, make it look pretty, add some color. We just got some regular fish tank sand from a local pet shop and we cleaned it out by flushing the bag. It's nice, beautiful white sand for a beautiful bottom. Perfect. Spread it all out. Just enough sand. If anything, I can add more later on. I got a couple things I want to put in the water as well. That's looking really cool. Now we're going to start adding the water and add the fish that we got. Very nice. I like. Alright, cool. So we're actually going to fill it all the way up to around here. So a good 8 to 9 inches of water. This is going to be really cool. I'm super excited. I've always wanted to do a setup like this, and I have a couple more ideas similar to this, but with different animals from different ranges around the planet. So I'm doing this, which is a Southeast Asian setup, and then down the road I want to do something similar, both Amazonian species. So you guys can guess what I'm going to do in the future for that. Alright guys, we've got our Aquafina filter! That's not sponsoring us, so hit us up in the business email, link below. Anyways, so I'm going to take this filter, and I'm going to stick it right in the back, so very inconspicuous. Nobody has to know about the filtration. Keep it in the back. There we go. Just there at the water level. It's going to create a little current, put some oxygen in the water, and keep it somewhat clean. And hopefully, with the fish we got, and the couple extras we didn't expect to get, they'll keep this plenty clean. And we'll get into that in a second. Let me just open this up and wire it up. Uno momento, por favor. Let me just... A little bit of performance issues. Give me a second. Yeah! Yeah! Jam it right... Oh. Come on, man. Give me a break. There we go. Voila! It's alive! Stop. We need to finish. Relax. So I've got the filter plugged in. It's going to start cycling that water. I've got my heater right here because I do want to keep that water a little toasty for these tropical animals. Now we can start putting our critters. So I have a bunch of ghost shrimp. A lot of them are going to go into there. We're going to keep stuff clean at the bottom, provide food for other animals. And then I got a lot of different mollies. I got assorted mollies. I know it looks really gross in here. When I dump the bag, I'm going to get them dumped into a net so we don't get that nasty water in there. And we're going to put the swordtails and the assorted mollies right into there so they can start acclimating. Look at that. They are so pretty. And they're going to breed like crazy. They give live birth, so consistent food being produced for the mangrove snake along with all my other aquatic animals, because once they breed in here, I'll start sharing them with other terrariums and other tanks. I think I'll take some of the fish from here and put them in Vin's tank just so they have lots of space. They can breed and produce lots of future babies for future setups. And here we've got our plagos, basically our sucker fish, common nickname throughout the pet shops. They clean the tanks, they eat the fecal matter, and this is actually kind of like a fancy suckerfish, because if you look where we have, you can see he's got these crazy pieces of skin coming off his face. Look, he's trying to suck on the bag. Look at that. He's like... Anyways, you see all those little things on his face? He's crazy looking. Another badass fish to have in here on display. So we got 2 of those suckerfish in there. We're going to let the water acclimate in the bags, and then we're going to release them. Oh, we're going to release them into the terrarium, and then the mangrove snake.
We want to have a good time, okay, my friend? Yeah. This is like it reminds me of home in Cuba. The mangrove swamp where I used to, make my hooks and whatnot and go fishing with my uncle. It reminds me of home. It reminds me of home. And these fish, this is your new home.
All right, guys, it's time to introduce our cleanup crew. First, we're going to introduce our Placo fish. Like I said, I do not remember what species of Placo this is, so if you guys are fish experts out there, I'm just a hobbyist when it comes to fish, please comment below and let me know what species of Placo these guys are. I'm just dumping out the water right now because I do not want the water from the previous pen to go inside the new pen. Perfect. All right, there you go. So you guys can get a nice look and see what they look like. Be real gentle with them. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Look at that. They have little tentacles all over their face. See that? Little barbs coming out too. It's part of their gills, protection. That's crazy. Okay, we're gonna put this fish in so you can see a better look at it. Here we go. Check it out. Look how crazy that is. And he's gonna take care of all the poops and the skin. Look, he's already sucking around. He's gonna be like a little vacuum cleaner. And this is his girlfriend. Oh, he's already sucking around. Perfect. And then here's his girlfriend. She's a little sucker too. I'm not gonna say too many jokes about that because you're filthy minded. Let's see. We got shrimp like a mofo in here. We got a lot of shrimp. Look at this. Whole big bag of ghost shrimp. They provide food for the other animals. They are a bit of a cleanup crew themselves. We're gonna dump it into here. There are a lot of shrimp in here. Here we go. Woo! Make sure all of them come out.
No shrimp left behind.
And I'm just gonna let a majority of these guys out. Goodbye, shrimps. Goodbye, shrimp. Ah! We're gonna take the rest of these shrimp and we're gonna dump them in the tank over here for Finn the Fly River Turtle. There we go. And these guys will clean up things around. They'll clean up the tank. They'll become food. Look at all of them. It's like, what? Oh, look at this big, beautiful tank. This is for us. I'm swimming. Okay, so this is the moment of truth. The beauties. The mollies. Look at this. We got an assorted group of mollies, and there's another species in here that's not actually a molly. But all the species in this bag give live birth, so that's very important. They breed like crazy, so they're constantly going to be providing food for the animals in the enclosure. Let's dump a bunch of these guys out. Maybe let's get all of them in there. Oh, there we go. We got all the mollies. We're just going to dump them all in here at first, and then I'll start picking them out. Oh, I don't want to get all that poop in there. That's disgusting. Here. Freedom! Freedom! Leave your poop in the net. Oh boy, that's a lot of poop. But don't worry, that's what the suckerfish are for. So that's awesome. A bunch of assorted mollies and a couple other different species in there. Comment below if you guys know the species of suckerfish this is, the Placo. And yeah, let's let the water acclimate for a couple more seconds. Check out these beautiful fish, and we'll put the mangrove snake in. The last piece de resistance. Alright, beautiful people, we've got the mangrove snake here. He's ready to go back or go into his new enclosure. He's real upset. What's wrong, buddy? You don't want to go and hang out with me? You just want to go home already? Alright, we're going to put this mangrove snake into his new enclosure. He's got plenty of... Oh, don't bite me. He's got plenty of places to explore. He's got water that he can go in at night when he becomes active because this is a nocturnal specimen. Don't bite me. Stop it. No biting. And he's got plenty of places to perch. He's got plenty of places to hide. He's got this new beautiful setup, and I'm sure he's going to be really stoked to explore it. Look, he went from very defensive to, I think I'm going to explore. Oh, he's friends with the sucker now. This is so cool. Now people are going to be able to come check this out in person. They're going to be able to see the snake. They're going to be able to see the fish in here, the whole entire process of how everything's taken care of. And I think I'm going to give him a little hand to show him that he has plenty of space upwards to go explore. Here you go, buddy. Enjoy your new home. Enjoy. Enjoy. Or go swimming. That's cool too. Do whatever you want, man. Guys, well, it looks like this mangrove snake is enjoying his new enclosure. Like I said, this is a nocturnal species, so during the day he'll be sleeping quote up here, and then at night he'll be exploring, looking for food. And eventually I'm going to add live plants I'm gonna add a log in here. I'm gonna put some, what else am I gonna put in here? I'm gonna put some frogs in here. Lots of different stuff for him to feed upon, and he's gonna love Zeus. You wanna go up into your trees? Hey look, check out the trees. There you go. Trees. Such a beautiful snake. Oh, back into the water. Alright, beautiful people. That's going to be it for this episode, setting up this beautiful mangrove snake. I'll see you on the next one. Stay beautiful, stay safe, but most of all, stay gangster.
Aquarium!